Welcome to another segment of Market Overdrive. I am your host, residential real estate broker with Coldwell Banker. How are you, Nick?
I'm just listening to disc jockey. You know, you're more the size of an actual jockey of a horse race.
So my producer
5
and
foot
therapist
nothing,
told me to be
100
nice to
pounds.
you today. And so in order
We
for
can
me to
still
be
be
nice to you,
and
then you
crack
have to be
jokes.
nice to me. So I suggest that you stop before I go Latina crazy on you.
I'm loving the color blue, Smurfette.
How do you expect me to survive this?
Continuing on.
Wait. Before you get all carried away with your little
You do your
comedy
thing.
and
I'll
all
be
that
right
stuff,
here.
I really want to go ahead and address a question that was asked by an industry professional early this week. And they said, really, Karla, why do you do this show every week, right? You're a busy professional. You're selling real estate. You have 2 kids. And you're doing this show, you're producing it. It takes a lot of time to produce this show, come up with the top topics, bringing in our guests, and find the best of the industry to come out to elevate your real estate IQ. So anyway, the answer is because I am passionate about the business that I do. I mean, I recently met with a client who had been on the market for a whole year, listed a property with a local realtor who had his names on every bench in the city of Chicago, and basically decided that he wasn't going to show the properties. He wasn't going to call the client and let them know that there was people who wanted to see the property. The property sat on the market for a whole year. I came in and after 20 days of marketing this property and showing the property myself, I got multiple offers at above list price. And that's the reason why I'm passionate about what I do, because I feel that our market is underserved and some people are not doing what they need to do when it comes to representing our clients for real estate. So that's my kind of like get it off your chest moment for Karla. Take it away, Nick. Are you fired up?
Ooh-wee. I'm
Just thought I'd throw it
not
there.
going to beat up on other loan officers like Karla beat up on another agent.
I'm not beating up. I'm saying that our industry, right,
I get it,
has
I
to
get it.
step up to the game because there's people who are
get it.
making money. And this particular client is relocating to Mexico, and this is all their proceeds for their next life. So I'm sorry if I want to protect people's livelihoods and wealth.
No, the money's not the only part of this game. Obviously, you know, doing the job right and, you know, getting a reputation in the industry as being good at what you do is most important. But we got a show to do.
Do it.
We have a show to do with some special guests today. We have one of our sponsors this is your first time on the air, isn't it?
This is my first time.
Look at that. In from Allstate Insurance. I think you're an agent owner or an office owner. Am I correct on that?
Correct. I have 2 agencies that I own.
And
2 agencies. Get it right.
Two
She's a
Allstate
boss
Insurances.
lady.
I know Karla Mina has been using you quite a bit recently. I have just been introduced to your name as of this year because I think we've never met officially.
No.
But Graco works with
Graco.
her.
I have,
works
yeah,
with me.
Graco from
So what's
iLoan
up?
does work for
You know that guy you work with?
So in the yeah, little dude, my guy, in the house from Allstate Insurance, Lisa Jusino, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
And we're glad to have you. And of course, next to her, always flashy and sassy and all black and gold and whatever gold she can get her hands on. The one, the only Mimi Luna from Coldwell Banker. Good to have you back. It's been a while since we've seen you.
It's been a while. I'm glad to be back.
Hi, beautiful.
Hi.
I love you.
All right, we know your resume is very tall and proud, so we're just going to move back over to Lisa. Lisa, tell us a little bit more. Tell us a little bit more about your insurance business and the career and how you got in it and why you're doing it and what tipped you to go in insurance. Just give us a good couple minutes on your background.
A quick background. I love hearing what you said in regards to being passionate about what you do because I'm very passionate about what I do. I have been with Allstate. I know you guys are going to be shocked, but it's 29 years.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
They had insurance back then?
Can you believe that?
No.
Are you serious? Wow.
I was like 2. No.
Yeah.
But seriously, I came to Allstate because I wanted to work for a company that cared about the community and gave back. Our community is very underserved, and it's very important to me to make sure that I work with a group of people that are truly passionate about educating and helping people truly build the right portfolio to protect themselves. So that's why I got into the business. I have a great team. We have 6 licensed agents. I do have 2 agencies, one on North Avenue in the Humboldt Park area, and then one in Pilsen at 16th and Halstead.
Yeah.
And we love what we do. We love it.
And I need to underscore the importance of what you do because it's a huge, huge part of life. I mean, insurance spans out way past our side of the industry, you know, for real estate and mortgages. We're always worried about getting to the closing table, right, guys? It's like we have to deal with so many nuances of property inspections and credit denials and or approvals or whatever comes along the way. And we essentially, I personally can admit to sometimes taking for granted the insurance issues. Like, you know, we
Well, you
have the
can't get
people
to
we send
closing
out.
unless they get the insurance. So,
Right.
Right.
I mean, you're more directly in the timeline or in the transaction piece of it all. You're more tied to the lenders because you guys decide, okay, we're getting a clear to close. All we need now, to get a clear to close would be to get insurance.
We're laser focused to do our jobs.
Right.
And we don't, we've always recommended, sometimes we see insurance policies that we think are a little high and overcharged or overbilled, and we've always recommended to try other insurance agents that we work closely with. But, it's always a sad case when you hear somebody doing, taking out a policy and realizing they're not covered here, they're not covered there. And so I think that at times we're so focused on what we do and we really don't give enough credit to what they have to do.
That's the important thing of an agent, getting to know that partner. So getting to know about iLoan and getting to know the process.
Right.
Because everybody's process is differently. So we have to be able to follow that process and work with the customer to make sure that they're properly covered.
Ooh-wee.
And that's why we have this amazing topic today, because I think it's so relevant, which is how to protect your investment. And, with Mimi being an expert in her field, top agent with Coldwell Banker, helping families every day, I wanted her to give us what she feels as an expert is the three top affordable areas that she's actually digged up some stats on. So we want to encourage you what? Why are you looking at me? No.
You're taking my lines.
No, I'm not
You're taking my lines.
I'm not taking your lines. I just wanted to kind of say that because we're talking about the importance of saving on insurance. Go ahead, Nick.
I feel like you just took half the show away from me.
You did.
The topic is the 5 most affordable neighborhoods. You're gonna give us some good info. All of you guys, both of you guys, Karla and Mimi, and of course, how to protect that investment, which is ultimately the most important thing. It's not worth an investment if you lose it somehow tragically. Right. So the Q&As with the experts, all 3 of them. I'm not included in this. It's another one of those things. It's another one of those things where if a mortgage question comes up, I'm here. I think you can call into us if you want to at 312-521-8589. Is that a number? Is that the number?
So. Is that a number?
You got a question for either me, Mimi, or Karla, or of course Lisa is here today for insurance questions. For those of you following us on YouTube, obviously we're gonna edit this. It's live right now, but it's going to be edited and tabbed and nicely categorized for you guys to skip right past Karla and jump straight to Mimi and Lisa whenever you want to watch this show again sometime next week. So with that being said, let's go on to our subtopics. We're going to go over a few different things. We have how do we identify value for the realtors in the office, or in the room, I should say, to get us to those hot neighborhoods. Number 2, analyzing market indicators. 3, Mimi's top affordable neighborhoods. And 4, Karla's top affordable neighborhoods. Clearly, nobody cares about Nick and Lisa's affordable neighborhoods. Number 5, Lisa's final advice on how to save on homeowners insurance. And, unfortunately, there's nothing for Nick to discuss in this show once again. How did this happen?
Because I produced it.
This is the worst. How did I sign on for this? Somebody help me out here.
We'll ask you for payments.
You'll ask me for payments? No, I'm not even going to help. I'm just going to jump in here.
Renting versus buying.
I just heard some noise in my ear, and that means it's time for us to do the nitro question. We got to do this in the beginning of the show before we get into our actual show discussion, and then we're going to obviously come back and listen to the answer at the end of the show. Now, we have 2 guests here. Well, Mimi's not really a guest, but she hasn't been here so long, we're going to slap her with a nitro question as well.
Please be nice to
the
our
nitro
guest.
question is sponsored actually by you today, Lisa Jusino of Allstate Insurance. Get it good, get it cheap. Call 312-850-0775. Again, that's 312-850-0775. I hope I said the right number.
Yes, you did.
Thank God.
I would have corrected you.
Lisa, you are the sponsor of the Nitro question with Allstate today, and the Nitro question is going to be, what is the most craziest, insane thing you've ever had a client's request to insure? I don't care if it's like a doll collection from the 50s or something weird, or somebody's comic book collection or anything. The craziest or strangest insurance request that you've ever had to deal with where you just kind of sat back and said, I can't believe I'm hearing this, and I wait till I tell my husband this request. Something along those lines, all right? Mimi, and think about it and let it marinate. We're going to come back to you in a little bit on that one. Mimi.
Yes.
You like to get all political every once in a while.
No, I don't.
You like to get political every once in a while. So we're going to get political. The elections happened yesterday. Mm-hmm. Of all the things covered in the election, I want to know what was the most interesting part and why, as far as what was going on in the election. Some of the bills and all that stuff and who you were voting for and why you're voting for.
Okay.
Cool? You're going to bring us a little bit more of the real world stuff, all right?
Sounds good.
Fair enough. Let's go.
I don't get a nitro question.
You get nothing. I don't even
I
have
think she
I don't
deserves
even,
one.
I don't have a show segment. You want me to reward you? Nitro question. Where in God's name do they sell Smurf outfits? We want to know.
You see this? I'm just not going to talk to you this whole entire section.
Checking out. Nick Memeti is done for the show.
Anyway, let's carry on with our show. So today, again, we're going to give you some really good tips on where to find some value in some neighborhoods in the city of Chicago. And I know you hate us getting local, but I thought it was imperative because not only are we going to give you ideas as to what's selling and what's affordable, but also how to find and identify neighborhoods that are, in fact, affordable for you so that you can build wealth over time and build equity over time. So let's get on with our show, Mimi. I'm going to start with you. How do we actually identify value in these neighborhoods?
We identify value with the price, how it's on the market, how fast the property moves on the market. And of course, nowadays when you have rent so high, buying is kind of the way to go, especially what Nick was saying, how rates are going up. Prices, it'll be higher to attain a loan, right? Payment-wise.
Yep.
See, I gave you a loan thing.
Thanks. No, it will. I mean, the rates aren't. Look, I saw somebody post something yesterday about rates could hit 5% by the end of the year.
So now's the time to
they're
buy.
almost at 5%, like they're like an eighth or a quarter off in some cases already. So not could, they're gonna hit it.
So now's the time to buy, and it'll give people more buying power. Certain places you have, let's say Brookfield, for instance, in the western suburbs, average sale price of a house is $276.
Right. No, I get it. It's great finding value in these properties. And as you mentioned, with interest rates going up and values going up in properties, obviously we're in the spring market, so values are increasing. Then we also got to look into the carrying cost, right? What is the carrying cost? And then on top of that, you're adding insurance on it. And in some cases, when you're doing a first time buying loan and you're using products like FHA, when you have to pay a mortgage insurance premium, that kind of like takes away from, the value and the affordability index of that purchase. So, Lisa, what are some ways that people can reduce their costs for insurance when they're looking at these premiums?
Well, one of the things that I always, when I'm advising people when they're going through the process of getting ready to buy a home, is I remind them that they should have renter's insurance. Because all that takes into place, and how renter's insurance helps you when you're going to buy the home. Of course, it protects your property, which everybody should have, but now you have a prior insurance discount, which allows you to get a discount on your homeowner's insurance.
Wow.
Just for having a renter's
That's
policy.
seriously a really good secret, and I've never heard of that,
Yeah.
really. Okay, wait a minute. So I'm buying a property, never bought before, never owned anything before. But of course, my landlord never requested that I carry insurance, renter's insurance. Now you're saying that if I do have that history of having a rental policy, that it's going to give me a discount?
Correct. It'll give you
Okay.
a prior insurance discount.
Love it. Get that, Nick? So while you're renting and doing all that stuff?
And renter's insurance is so cheap. It really is. And most importantly,
It's like 20
about
bucks a month
protect-
usually.
Yeah.
It's $20, $30. It's not
It's
very
about protecting
expensive.
your property.
Right.
It's less than that sometimes.
Really great. I mean, it definitely helps with the monthly carrying costs. Mimi, when we're looking at properties and we're analyzing value in a neighborhood and just a specific property, what are some of the indicators that you look in? What are some of the things that you look at when you're negotiating for a client and letting them know, okay, this property has really good value? Like, how do you negotiate for them?
We see how long it's been sitting on the market. We see how the average list price compared to the average sale price. We check and see how the turnaround time on the market is there.
I completely agree with that. And actually, when you're looking, and I want to tell people to be careful when you're looking at time on market, because I just had a scenario recently where I actually had to take a property off the market in fourth quarter. The property was completely rented. And so my client just didn't want to deal with the fourth quarter holidays and bother her tenants. The property's in condo quality. The tenants have such pride of residency. I mean, they are keeping this rental property as if it were their own. Duplex down in West Town. And the agent who just submitted an offer after being on the market for 2 weeks and not being able to get but one set of people to come see the property said, well, you've been on the market for a really long time. And I said, well, okay, I'm being very transparent with you. I'm letting you know that the reason we were on the market for a long time was because we couldn't get people into the property. But I showed him, here are 2 offers, right? And I only showed the 4th page of the contract where it says offer 1 came in at this date, offer 2 came in at this date, and this is when the offer 3 came in, which is when after I put the property on the market. So let's, be more analytical when you're looking at market time and trying to negotiate with agents. And do believe the agent when they're telling you that the property has higher demand, because this was the first time that somebody told me that it is a buyer's market. I was like,
What?
oh, yeah. They actually negotiated with
Wait,
me.
what?
So this
Wait.
is a buyer's market.
I'm over here playing with some things, looking
kid
at
you
some
not.
research, and someone really said that?
Somebody really said
I
that
don't- I
market
don't
rates
agree
are
with that
going
yet.
up, and there is a lack of transactions, and the market is shifting where it's going to become a buyer's market. First of all,
There's a lack of
there's
transactions.
a lack of
probably for
transactions
that
because there's
person.
no inventory,
Right.
and the properties
Yeah.
that are not selling is because I have 10 RSVPs for this weekend. So anyway, market indicators. Looking at the time of market, I wouldn't necessarily look at that. I would look more into the, and I know I can't say this word, absorption rate, or how long is it taking for that market to absorb that inventory? What's the how many properties have sold in that month, and how many properties are still active? That's how long it's going to take you to be, how much time you have to sell this property. So I say be very careful when you're looking at market time.
I don't want to fall off the tracks here, but going back, when do you consider, the three of you, when do you consider it? We're all going to answer this for those people that think that it's already a buyer's market. I'm not saying it won't be. It always could be a buyer's market inevitably, but it's definitely not a buyer's market today.
Right.
As we sit here today on, March 20-something, it's not a buyer's market. But what do you consider a buyer's market? One-word answer. What do you consider a buyer's market? One sentence answer. What is it?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, when?
It's
When is it- when do you
supply and
consider-
demand, right?
Okay.
When there's more
When
supply,
there's more supply
than demand.
than demand.
I mean, that's like the economic way of looking at it.
You.
I would consider when rates are low.
Okay. Buyer's market, insurance.
I would agree as well as when rates are low. I don't agree that it's a buyer's market right now. There's multiple offers coming in on a property they're being outbid, right?
Yeah.
So no.
I'm going to rarely agree with Karla that if there's a flood,
Oh my gosh!
I know.
Is this recorded? I'm so glad.
It's your
this
birthday,
is
isn't it?
recorded. It's my birthday today.
if there's
Because
a
I'm
if,
here.
if there's a
Thank you,
lot of
Lisa.
properties for sale in the neighborhood and they're all standing there, it's a buyer's market. That's my opinion. I mean, not even a lot, but just more than one choice. Then it's a buyer's market. We are not there.
And
No,
listen, I
we're
get
not
it,
there.
right? So interest rates are getting higher, so the buyers are going to have to slow down, and they're going to look at the, like the affordability index of this purchase. But you also have to take in consideration that there is still no inventory. And until the market gives us more supply, then we're still going to be a seller's market. And so I would like people to understand, like when we're creating value and we're having this show about how to create value for yourself, I want you to look in the micro level of the transaction, like the individual neighborhood, the individual property, how long it's been on the market. And typically, like what is the transaction history of that property? In the MLS, as realtors, we're able to look at the additional information and check and see like how long this property came on the market. Did it ever go under contract? When was it reactivated? Did it go temp? Right? Because these are good indicators of like, the sellability of this property. And more importantly, when the property has been under contract, I always like to see, okay, was it within the 5 day of attorney review, or was it within 20, 30 days? Because now we're looking at maybe the deal fell through because of financing. If the deal fell through within the first 5 days, maybe it was an inspection issue. I want to know why did it fail inspection, right? And be more transparent. Let me know, what are the inspection items, and you know what, there's not a lot of inventory. So buyers may look and say, well, you know what, it's not a big deal with the repairs. I'll take it. I want it for this price, right? Do you agree?
I concur.
Oh, that's how you're going to add on to today's
Isn't that
show?
for the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio?
I
Do you
concur.
concur? I concur. I concur. Where are we at?
Where are we?
Are we on number 2 still?
We're still on number 2. How do we identify value?
That's number 1. So are we on number 2?
I love how they're finally looking at my notes.
I mean, I'm so against this whole like note thing. I'm just like, I don't do notes.
All right, fine. Let's
Tell me
move
what the
on.
topic
Let's
is.
move on. Producers and everybody, we're moving on to analyzing market indicators.
I think she's trying to micromanage us.
Right?
I think. Yeah,
You're taking
totally.
away all my luster.
Your
Me and Mimi cannot be in cages
I know.
with scripts. We need to do our jobs. Let us just improv like Second City. All right.
You can never survive at Second City.
You want to bet?
No, Second City is about yes and then you're nice to that person. You don't call them Smurfs. You don't talk about their Allstate blue collar.
I just come up with things randomly. That's called improv. So, for example, I will not say anything about Smurfs or Allstate blue collar you're celebrating today. I will ask you, when did you decide to become an airline stewardess?
Analyzing market indicators. So maybe you were talking about some of the things that you look at when you're analyzing a property. When looking at the average sales price in the area, what is it that you're trying to see? Why are you looking at that specific why are you looking at that type of stats?
To compare it to the list price and to see the exact amount of wiggle room we have in a community. Comparing list to sale price.
Right, and I think it's important because a lot of people miss this, right? When we have a lot of information accessible to us through the multiple listing service, and that's why MLS is way better than Zillow and Redfin. I'm sorry, I'm just saying that. I'm calling everybody out
Preach!
today. Preach.
Say it.
Because we have access to this information, you guys.
And it's real data.
It's real.
Correct data.
You know it. We can touch it. It exists. We can see it. But the average sales price in a neighborhood, it's important because, you know, when you're looking at 3 different neighborhoods and you're comparing what is more affordable to you, some of you are going to be going through with, you know, schools. Obviously, that matters. But if you're looking at an up-and-coming neighborhood and you're like, I want to be the trendsetter in this neighborhood, you're going to look at the average sales price for that month of February or that last month, and you're going to compare it to the other 3. And then you're also going to look at year-ago growth, right? If the market is growing at 8% versus 6% versus a 5% in the other one, you're going to go with the 8%, but they're all basically, you know, in that 250 some range, I know, for the suburbs, but, you know, in the 350 to 450 in the city. So it's just, you know, when you're working with a realtor, make sure that you're looking at these things, especially if you haven't figured out the location where you like to live. Wow, it's a Karla show today. I'm done.
I mean, I'm not the realtor.
Come on, Mimi.
Like, I'm scripted
list
right
price
now. I gotta
versus
stand
sales
here.
price ratio. What is it? What does that indicate?
What does that indicate? What do you mean?
When you're looking at a property and you're looking at the list price versus sales price ratio, how does it affect pricing when we're negotiating?
It affects pricing because it tells you the movement on.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You guys are doing all this
That's what we do.
pilot training and
That's
stuff.
what we
What's
do.
going on here?
Stewardess, pilot. Hello. Go ahead. Sorry, Mimi.
See,
So-
Lisa, this is what I have to deal with all the time. It's like having
Bendito.
2 kids. ¿Ves?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
She
Mimi.
said bendito. She took it there.
I'm just saying that there's phone calls coming in, just so you know, Karla. Go ahead, Mimi.
Let's answer a phone
no,
call.
No, go ahead. Finish what you were saying, please.
Okay, so I was saying it gives us the wiggle room, right? If we know that a house, if the market usually sells at 92% of list price, then we have wiggle room with the price and what to offer the seller. So it's a science. It's not like it's picked out of the air.
There you go. So while someone is not doing her job and she's busy typing away, I'll just jump in here and go to, are we jumping straight to like what are like Mimi's most top affordable neighborhoods, or are we still on?
Well, I
something
want to
else?
go back to the list price sales price ratio, just because I think it's important for people to understand that, you know, so a neighborhood is going to have a 3%, you know, list price sales price ratio, and so you're going to go in there and right away you're going to offer that 3 to 4% off a list price. But you have to understand the market and that specific property, right? Because if the property is underpriced, a lot of agents are doing that now to generate multiple bidding wars. You're wasting your time by submitting an offer just because you're like, oh, well, you know, Logan Square or X area, Lincoln Park or Lakeview is transacting at a 3 or 2% list price sales price ratio based on February stats. I mean, it's a very bad way to look at it. I would always say, obviously, run your comps, right? And know the specific market for that individual property.
I mean, and another thing to look at is the inventory, right? If there is no inventory, I mean, then you're kind of going to have to go with, if a seller's on the market for less than 7 days, I'm not going to tell them to take a lower price. And
Sure.
there's no inventory on the property. I mean, it depends who you represent, right? If you're representing the seller or you're representing the buyer.
Exactly. Did you say we had something? No? A
No,
call?
you just ignored them. There was like 5 callers, and you're busy just talking away and ignoring everybody waiting on
There's
hold.
a message in your inbox, too, that you have to look at.
No,
So I'm
there's
sorry,
nothing in
this
my
is
inbox.
production.
I don't
Yes,
have to
there
do anything.
is a
No, I'm not even
message
gonna read my
in your
inbox. I'm done being scripted. I'm no longer being scripted. I'm
It's
off
your
the script.
producer that's
I'm off-
trying to talk to
I
you.
don't get. Nobody produces me. I'm a solo act.
Oh my God. See exactly what he is. He's a solo act.
I'm a solo act.
Okay, fine. Then take it away, Mimi. Let's get to number 3. Mimi's top
Get down
affordable
and dirty,
neighborhoods.
Mimi.
Get it.
So, Mimi's top affordable neighborhoods in the western suburbs. If you're looking for Brookfield, what is going on?
I don't know. Just ignore her. I'm right here. Right here. Don't worry about.
She's like,
don't-
okay,
just
I'm gonna
ignore
talk to
her.
you, Nick, because
Yeah, you have a
throwing
list.
me off
you have
over there.
you have a list of 3, and I agree with them. So,
So
go ahead.
yeah, so if we're looking at Brookfield, the average sales price there is about $276, which give you a mortgage payment of $2,000 a month, with taxes and insurance included. That's about rent price. So it always makes more sense to buy than rent because then you're just burning your money. There's also loan programs out there where you can get 7% of your loan amount, put $1,000 down. So
You
everybody
told
can
me
buy.
about that today, and
Yes.
seriously, it's awesome. What's the name of the program?
It's the infrastructure loan.
Nick. Nick, tell us a little bit more about the
She's cheating, first of all.
Why is she
She's not
cheating?
coming here because her husband's a lender. So he might have saw something that I haven't seen yet, and now all of a sudden she's coming.
You haven't seen yet.
Well, hold on.
Oh my God.
Jusino,
Oh my God.
you.
Come on.
What?
You haven't seen. I thought you saw everything.
I gotta do a dance for this.
Hey,
Hey,
tomorrow I might find it.
you're a
and
little
by
too
Monday,
late.
and by
How about
Monday,
I'll send it to you?
and by Monday I have mastered it. That's fine. You're catching me off guard with this one. It's fine. Go
I
ahead.
love it. Means you've
So
made my day.
infrastructure loan in Cook County, it's 7% of the loan amount, $1,000 down, and you can use it to pay closing costs or all your down payments. So everybody should be able to buy now. 580
Interesting.
credit score, I believe.
And all three of these neighborhoods that you have on your top three in the western suburbs are in Cook County.
Yes, Cook County.
So you forgot to mention the other two.
So we have Berwyn, which average sale price there is $226. Monthly mortgage payment there would be about $1,600. And then we also have Lyons, which is in between there. Average sale price is $174,000, and your monthly mortgage payment is about $1,400.
And then we're basing all these payments roughly off of standard tax rates of 1.75, I think roughly is those areas, or maybe 2% in some cases.
Right.
And interest rates being in the fours, somewhere in the mid fours.
Yes, sir.
Off of today's market.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. So out of these three, which one's your favorite one?
So my favorite one is always
From a value perspective, not to live in.
and even on a
Yeah, 'cause
return on
that's
investment
theory, so let's be
perspective
careful.
is the ones with the better school districts, right?
Okay.
That always holds value. But I mean, other ones have their pluses too, right? The closeness to the city, the how to get around fast, the metro trains.
Give and take in all of them.
Yeah.
But as far as like the return on investment and like what seems to be the hottest, most affordable neighborhoods, these are the three. Which one out of the three do you think would be the one that is probably the slightly better bang for the buck?
I would say
Bang for the buck, not where you would reside or have a better school district. Bang for the buck.
Right. I would say Brookfield. Only
Brookfield?
because your resale value is it's
Stable.
growing and it's stable, and you know the school district supports it.
All right, there you have that. Karla, you can jump in here any minute now.
So we were supposed to. I was supposed to do two.
Yeah, you keep reading that list.
Yeah, but I did four. So, but I'm not going to go through all of them. So I chose Dunning specifically. It's in the area in the north side of Chicago, kind of northwest side, and it's got a great acquisition price point for entry level. I mean, below 300 in these areas, it's significantly affordable for most people. If you're looking at the surrounding neighborhoods like Old Irving, if you're looking at Albany Park, and of course, if you go further east, you're looking at Roscoe Village. And so I'm looking at the single family category, right? And the single family category is always going to attract moms and families. So that's why I kind of focus my information on an area that had under 300 purchase price, because we're looking at that, first time buyer who's got what, $40,000 or $60,000 in income per year. So again, very affordable neighborhood. In February, the average sales price was $289,750, and the year ago growth was 8%. So this neighborhood's growth is growing at an 8% rate, and you're getting in there with less than 350 or less than 450. Mind you, these stats include properties that are maybe 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms. So I just want to encourage you to do your own research, and when you're working with the realtor, to make sure that they're looking at this information as well. But again, go ahead and look at the specific property so that you're not saying, well, Karla said all properties are 289 in this area. The total properties currently for sale are 96, and the number of properties sold in February was 18. So we're looking at a 96 level of inventory. That's kind of high for the area, right? And 18 properties selling, that's a 5-month worth of inventory. So you're not going to be rushed with bidding wars because they have 5 months to get rid of this type of inventory based on the number of sales. So you can like rest assured that you're going to get it for a good price. You're not going to have the emotional burden of having to get into a bidding war and paying a premium. And so that's the reason why I chose this property. And then your sales price, list price, sales price ratio is 95.6%. So it's like 4.4% of negotiating room, or wiggle room, as you like to call it. And I know a lot of clients always ask, so Karla, what would you pay? What would you ask, or what would you recommend that we offer? Well, based on the stats and what happened in February, I would always say, well, let's start looking at the 4% wiggle room. But again, look at the individual property. Make sure that you're not like lowballing a client and the property was underpriced or is competitively priced. And so for the other three that I do have, I want to go ahead and say Albany Park, Hermosa, and also South Humboldt Park. We're seeing a lot of growth and great acquisition levels or affordable acquisition levels. So I want to say that if you want to get that information from me, you should inbox me, email me, or you can call me directly at 312-498-8473. And I'd love to share this information with you. Nick?
Taking into consideration all the stuff we're talking about is all about saving money, getting the best return on investment, the whole 9 yards. There is no secret. I know we touched on it in the beginning of the show, and I didn't want to just jump in the middle of the fun part of actual real estate buying. There's three different things going on here. You have to keep an eye on where the best investment is, first and foremost. Where can you get the biggest bang for your buck from an appreciation standpoint, from a cost of living standpoint, the whole 9 yards. Some places are higher for insurance on a regular basis than other places, depending on where you're located. And then we touched on interest rates. But interest rates, we keep touching on them from a mortgage perspective. Oh, your payment to qualify. So sure, if you're one of those people that were dependent and qualifying all the way to the maximum debt to income ratio, some lenders will only go up to 45%. Some lenders will go up to 50%. Some lenders even have programs to 55%, which we're not going to go into. That's a whole other show for a different day. But it's not just about qualifying for your mortgage. What you have to understand is mortgage rates are going up. Not only mortgage rates are going up. When the feds announce that rates are going up, they go up across the board. So it's not just fitting into your mortgage payment and hurrying up, get in there before rates get too high for the mortgage. You have to wonder now, is my car getting old? Am I getting to buy another car? Am I going to have 0% financing down the road, or am I going to have higher rates on a car, like interest rate? Is the insurance premium on these things going to go up? There's a lot of other factors when you're talking about rates. We in this room think of one rate in particular because it's involved with our product, but rates are all over the place. I mean, they're on financing furniture, financing cars, financing everything. So with the Fed's announcement of, holding steady for the most part, but a projected forecast of raising them slowly, you have to worry that if you wait too long, not only will the house start to slip away, but what other payments are going to be increased versus taking care of the stuff right now. Make sense?
It makes sense.
Okay, cool.
And when you're talking about that, like seriously, Lisa, I know that a lot of people always say, well, my insurance premium always goes up every year. What are some indicators or ways that, that people can actually save on insurance? But more importantly, does the policy always increase?
Not always. So a lot of people say that because they get their mortgage bill and their mortgage bill increased.
Or their taxes, property taxes increase, right? So we're like,
that's the bottom line. It's finding out, okay, exactly what did increase. Right. And when you look at the, it's interesting listening to how sale prices and things come up, because when you call us for insurance, we're not looking at the sales price per se. We're not going to insure your house because you bought it for $250 doesn't mean it should be insured for $250. The bottom line is, you want to get a replacement cost policy, a policy that's going to rebuild your home, like, kind, and quality. So that's what we take a look at. So
I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's at the tip of my tongue. If I bought a house for $250 and got an amazing deal, because Mimi sold it to me, not Karla.
Right.
All right. But it's worth $350, and I don't mean worth $350 on the market, but it costs $350 to rebuild this house.
Right.
You telling me I should be insured at $350?
Yeah.
That's a big mistake a lot of people don't make.
Exactly. I mean, you think about it.
Especially in the luxury market right now. Because western suburbs, you touched on some, but you start going a little bit further west, Burr Ridge, Oak Brook, Hinsdale.
LaGrange.
There's a lot of great deals. You're talking like $2.5 million cost of constructions that are going for like 1.3, 1.4. It's laughable.
Right.
So go ahead,
even in the city, I think a lot about the Greystones, especially when you're looking at Hermosa, you're looking at the South Humboldt Park area. Beautiful structures, and you can buy them cheap, but you're not going to rebuild it. And that's the bottom line. We look at what's it going to cost to rebuild your home if the worst thing happens.
And that's something that you did have a conversation with me about, because when I bought the property, obviously it's a flip, so my acquisition cost was like really low, and I was like, I want a premium for this amount. You're like, no. You want the after repair value because that's going to be the end use. Right. So a lot of people don't realize that. So I really recommend that you contact Lisa. I mean, not only is she always on the spot, she responds right away, and she's got a great and amazing team. I want to do a shout out to Esmeralda. I don't know where she ran off to, but she's in the studio. And, it does make sense for people to guide you through this process, because even myself as an expert doing this for clients all the time, I'm always like, okay, so where do I send the payment? Just get this task off my
Well,
desk.
we're inundated with just give me the cheapest coverage possible.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's about cheap,
Saving
cheap,
money.
cheap, 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 and it's like you're not paying attention to something that important.
Right, because it's going to cost you a lot more.
Right.
Well,
So
it's
caller.
not that I'm cheap. I don't like that word cheap, or I'm trying to be cheap because
Well,
I
we
want
go with the cheap mind.
affordability.
We're going with the
want-
cheap
but I want the
mindset to
best.
save
You
money.
want quality coverage at the best price. So
Right.
there's a lot of things that can tie into it. And you had asked me about that. So, for example, when you're buying a property that needs to be, there's repairs, you do get a discount for putting on a new roof. You do get a discount for new plumbing, electrical. So all of those things help bring your costs down. So when you purchase a property, that may not be the case, but you're working on it and you're doing all these things, and then we can endorse the policy to give you credit for those things that you've done.
And it's really, people don't understand like how you structure the loan for, the insurance coverage for them. So and that takes us to number 4, we're 5. Lisa's final advice on how to save on home insurance. Like, what are some things or some items?
Can I get a question answered for me, please?
No?
The nitro question.
you still here?
You're like zooming right through it, and we haven't even gotten the answers to our nitro question.
Wait, I have a question too, because
Go
as
ahead.
far as like insurance policies, like how that affects payment to the mortgage and keeping their debt to income down. So you kind of have to be a little more affordable than
Say that
going
part
over.
again. Sorry, because like thing.
He was
Because your
busy fighting with
co-pilot,
me,
your
say it.
pilot,
My co-pilot
over
was
there,
acting up. So say that.
And
Say
that's
that
why I
question
was
again.
saying understanding the client's
She
situation.
understood
So
it.
getting to know, when you start working with me, Nick, you're going to feel all this that I'm talking
See? I love it. She called you
From what I
out.
understand, my office is working with you. Why are you blaming me?
That's true.
You're blaming me like
He's
I'm the
not
one that's.
important.
I'm
You're
not.
working with,
doesn't
like,
work.
I'm not a
Nick.
worker.
Okay, your
He's not a
people.
worker.
Your
That's-
people, Nick, know this.
Your people know this.
Teach my people. Yeah.
But no, getting to know the client's situation, right? Because there is, as you stated. So there's things to look at with the customer and talking about that. And there may be, you may have to take a higher deductible in order to bring your monthly costs down.
That's kind of scary, though.
I go down.
Higher
It is
deductible.
scary.
I like.
risk.
I always play with higher deductibles.
But wait, so
I'm
this
always
is
down that
personal.
route.
Like even when you're going through, obviously you know that we're gonna sell this property in 3 to 6 months, or hopefully 3. So would you recommend a high deductible? I mean, it's kind of high risk, but it's only short term.
Right. It depends on the situation and how the comfort level. I always go myself with, high deductible.
Whoa.
Speaking of situations, we want to get back to the nitro question, and we want to hear some situations you've been. In case you forgot the nitro question, we have to get to it.
But she didn't give us the other 3 things that are gonna save us.
Oh, there was 3 things we were waiting on.
She was gonna give her top.
We'll do it after the nitro,
Oh.
I
The
guess.
nitro
I thought- I
question
didn't-
according to the
you
video.
know what?
is at
I'll
the
just-
end.
You know what? I'm retiring. Go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry.
okay, all right. I'll finish. I'll finish
Was
the
that a
discount.
snort? Was that a snort? Hold on. Pause the air. We're gonna rewind, edit that. We're gonna blow that up on the next promo. That was a freaking Smurfy snort. Snorty Smurf.
Stop calling me a Smurf.
Snorty Smurf. That was a snort.
Lisa, we're so professional and unprofessional on this side. I just want you to know that he is in no way a reflection. He snorted. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Give us your.
All right. So my top ways to save on insurance.
From the boss lady who has 2 offices. you
Yes,
guys.
boss lady with 2 offices. Seriously, though, one thing I really think is important is to sit down with the agent and find out what discounts are available. I love the fact that many millennials love green, right? They're green everything. Well, if you go green on your policies, there's money to be saved. When you bundle policies, there's money to be saved. E-policy, e-bill, all of that's electronic. You save money. I talked about protective device as well. With protective device, if you had an alarm system, if you had deadbolt locks, fire extinguisher, these are all ways that you can save money. So we go down the line with our customers and go over all the different ways that you can cut the costs on your insurance and show them if you took all of these and implemented all of these discounts, this is the amount that you would save, and then go from there, because some people aren't comfortable with that. But we try to make sure that we give you the best coverage at the best rate.
I'm seriously writing this down because a lot of so we can better advise our
You
clients.
can-
Sometimes you don't know,
You can,
like you
you
do
can
that.
rewind the show too.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
You
write
can
it
go
down.
through the tabs
You
on
can
YouTube.
pay it. You don't have
I
to.
can
write
do
it
the
down.
tabs.
Yeah, you can go through
You
the
can
tabs.
fast forward the
Yeah,
YouTube.
I can guarantee you'll be able to find the show again.
Well, the other thing too is renovated home discount. Because a lot of times we're buying a property and we're making repairs to it. We're putting in a new roof, doing the
Yeah, I
plumbing,
want to make sure
the
that I get these
electrical.
things.
So that's why every year we call our customers to get updates and find out what's going on in your life, because life changes, and what have you done to your property to make sure that you're properly insured and you're getting all the discounts you should be getting.
Yeah, Nick, do you call your clients a year later to find out how they're
No,
doing?
but I think a lot of people do go through some heavy renovations and forget to
Yeah, they
bring it
do.
up, or I heard of somebody doing a whole addition.
Yes.
Oops.
And my gosh, you
do an
really want to
addition
tell
for
your agent.
you do an addition for 1,000 square feet and you
Yeah.
forget to mention it. That's not going to be
No, not at all.
And then also, right, these are good features to add into a new property that you're going to resale because the end user is going to be saving and it's going to be affordable for them to carry the cost on a monthly basis. Wait, so I kind of cheated and I called Nick Yassin and he gave me these numbers for this property because going back to my affordable neighborhood, seriously, I'm super excited about this neighborhood because I just did the work for this show, but got great findings here. He gave me the whole deal on this whole loan program with 1%. He said it was 1% or what was it, $28.90? What was that? 1% of the purchase price or $1,000, whichever
Whatever
is
is
less,
lower.
is what you're going to use for down payment. So this is amazing. In this specific area of a $289,750, so say $290 purchase price, on a $290 purchase price, your payment will be about $2,000. I mean, for a single family, $2,000 a month and we ran it against a $5,000 average tax price. I don't know what he did for interest rate, but $2,000 versus renting, I mean, a 3-bedroom single family house in these neighborhoods, you're not going to find anything for less than $2,000. So thank you, Nick, for running these numbers. And I love this program. Remember, down payment is 1% of the purchase price or $1,000. Love it.
Ooh-wee.
That's awesome.
Lots of information
So
today.
we're
We're
gonna
going to
get-
get you guys all to buy.
Are we going to get to this nitro question answer?
Yes, go to your nitro question.
I'm feeling like it's just been forgotten. The nitro question segment is clearly being lost in the program, which means I'm out of a job. I was the nitro
So
man.
dramatic.
I was the nitro man, but apparently it's not important anymore. So
You only came to the show.
nitro
to the
blew up. I'm only here for. I'm just gonna get a T-shirt. I'm just here for the nitro question.
The interest
So the
rate
question,
stuff was good, though.
the question was, give us one of, or if you want to give us two, but one at least of the most insane things you've ever been requested to insure or do an insurance policy of whatever sort, whether it was cars, homes, life, family, I don't know, anything that you can remember where you're just like, am I hearing this right? And then you had to keep a stone cold face and not tell the person on the other line, this is a little absurd. Go ahead, give it to us.
All right. I've had a couple, but I think the most that kind of knocked me off my chair. And I'm like, oh, what? What did you say? A customer called in. She wanted to make a change on her life insurance policy, which all of us need life. And she wanted to name her dog as the beneficiary.
Wait, what?
Her dog.
Her dog.
She loves her dog. I love my dog.
So something happened to her, the dog got all the money.
Yes.
But if you named the dog Karla Mina, would that come?
Oh, that was wide open. Oh boy. Let her go back. Go ahead. So what do you say? What do you say when do you have to break them the news that the dog can't cash the check, or like how does that all work?
Wait,
I
no,
mean,
there's a trust and an estate for the dog.
Wait,
Dog
I'm
will
getting
cash the
there,
check.
people.
Go ahead,
Look,
go ahead.
she's just jumping, right?
right, like.
So, first, wow, that's wonderful. You must really love your dog. Tell me about your dog, So she told me about her dog.
Tell me
And I
about-
said, well, the best thing for
kind
you
of
to
dog was
do, it was
Who cares? Tell us the story,
it was
please.
a beautiful Great Dane.
Oh,
Oh,
those
wow,
are
I
some
love
big
Great
Nice
Danes.
dog.
Beautiful dog.
Nice
dogs.
dog. Rich dog.
Yes, this dog is rich, okay? I told her, I said, that's wonderful, but someone needs to care for the dog. So do you have a loved one, a family member that you would trust to care for your dog and create a plan on how you want these funds?
Wait, you were
Stop
still
laughing.
professional in all this? Because I would have died.
Yes. She cares about her dog.
I'd have been like, are you crazy?
Oh my God.
I'm not putting your dog as a beneficiary. You found a way to be like white velvet glove around this whole situation. You're good, girl. I'll give you that.
That is insane. I love it though. That's cute.
So yeah,
I guess
that
you
was,
gotta
I
love
think,
someone,
one of the crazy ones. Yeah.
something,
That's
a
pretty
dog.
Ooh, we had more than one nitro question. We're gonna go to our political room with Mimi Luna. You had a nitro question. The elections were here.
Could you please repeat?
The elections were here. I wanted to know what you thought of them, or what were you most curious about in watching the turn or the results of the election.
Well, actually, when you went to vote, I was kind of caught off guard when they asked about, the legalization of marijuana in Cook County. So that was kind of like odd, I thought.
Oh, I wasn't.
You didn't vote?
I didn't vote.
You didn't do your duty?
I didn't
Your
put any
civic
voting
duty?
into Crook County this year.
Stop it.
That's why I'm moving to Page.
You have to protect
Just
the
saying.
neighborhoods that you serve,
Just
right?
saying. I'm moving to
Just saying.
Page.
DuPage.
Bye bye, Crook. On to the Page.
So the people have spoken, and the people of Cook County, sorry, Mr. DuPage residents,
It's all good. I'm still here technically.
they would allow it, I guess, to be on. To go
Marijuana?
forward.
Well, that's a hot topic across the country right now.
Hot topic.
I mean, everyone else is already legalizing it, and then the more you keep reading about it, it helps a lot of sick people.
It does.
I mean, I don't give them anything that helps them. So I'm totally for it. Whatever. I don't even smoke, but I'm for it.
I'm ready to sell some commercial spaces for dispensaries or whatever.
There you go.
It's always making money. Hustle. Are you happy now? You did your nitro question. What?
I'm signing out.
I know.
No, I'm not. I'm just.
It is
saying.
actually time.
Is it really?
Yes.
You kidding me?
You've had so much fun today.
You know what? Next time you throw a script in front of me, I'm gonna just.
I didn't do this,
I'm
actually.
not,
Your team
no,
did it.
My team is getting all.
Your
Y'all
team-
getting fired.
I
Every
love how
single
your
one of
team
you.
works for Karla.
Right? I love how they work for Karla.
Yeah.
You know.
I wish they worked for Karla, actually.
I wish you'd pay for them. Well, as you all know, we are absolutely nobody without our sponsors, and we want to thank Mike Radnick and Carmen Carbonara of Stewart Title, Tamika Scott with Money Matters Financial Peace, Denise Edenhofer with Fidelity National Home Warranty, Joanna Diaz with Credit RX, and of course, our guest in the studio today, Lisa Jusino of Allstate Insurance. Boss lady with multiple locations, not just one. Who you can call, by the way, once again, 312-850-0775. Again, that's 312-850-0775. This show, along with all our shows, regardless of what Karla is wearing, will be on all our social media outlets, whether you watch it live today or you want to go and watch it cataloged on YouTube. Market Overdrive is on YouTube, Facebook /Market Overdrive. It is not going to be on Twitter, but you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and you can go to the WGN Radio Plus website, and the podcast will be up. If you just want to download the podcast whenever it happens, and you could listen to it whenever you have time, go to iTunes and subscribe to Market Overdrive on iTunes, and you can follow us there as well. Other than that, I want to thank all my homies in the stadium. We're going to make this a stadium because it was like arena day. We had like a bunch of people around us.
Your homies? I'm
My
your homie.
homies. You are definitely not my homie. You're my little homie, my little blue homie. I want to thank you all for being here today. We will be back again next Thursday, 1 week from today, 1 week and just short of an hour at 5:30 p.m. Next week, we'll probably have another great guest with another great topic and another great outfit in blue.
You
Thank
never
you.
pick on Mimi.
Because she's awesome. Have a great week.